Good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Iyori Folani. Let's take a look again, because we do so from time to time. Let's take a look again at the security situation in the Northwest. Back in October 2024, that is just last year here, the president directed Nigerian troops to put an end to insecurity in Zamfara State and the Northwest region. So we'll be looking at that and our focus on security in the Northwest, and our guest is Colonel Samaila Yombe Daba, former Deputy Governor of Kebbi State. He joins us live via Zoom. Good morning to you, Colonel.
Good morning, Lori.
Thank you very much for making it again. Okay, so as I said in that intro, it was in October that the President had briefed troops to make sure that they really, handled the insecurity in Zamfara and the Northwest region. The directive was conveyed by the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, when he had actually visited a theater there. So my question to you would be, what's your assessment of our improvements since then? Have there been improvements?
Well, thank you very much first of all, for having me. I must say that the security agents, specifically the Army, are doing very well. We must look at their combat state of readiness as compared to what we had earlier. Their combat state of readiness can be assessed to be 99.9%. Before Mr. President's order to get rid of these insurgent people, and the Army had already assessed the security situation and had begun taking series of action, and they have done so well. And they are doing very well right now.
Okay.
We must understand the complex nature of fighting insurgent aggression. It's unlike conventional warfare whereby you know that the aggressor is here and you are here. But unlike the insurgent individuals, they appear from any direction. There is no specific, direction as to where they are advancing from, where they are attacking, and so on. So that makes this kind of combat situation very difficult. And right now, I must say that they are handling it very well.
All right then. Is that because the supplies and equipment have improved, the morale has been boosted? Because it was among the things that the Minister of Defense had said at the time when he was delivering the President's charge to them, that the President was quite pleased with the progress that they had made, and that they, that is the executive, would not relent in taking care of their welfare. Since the bandits are not going to let up, it must be perhaps that, things have changed.
Yes. Like as I said, the combat state of readiness has improved. Of course, with modern equipment, more aircrafts, the Air Force are up and doing with new equipment given to them. And of course, the most important thing is the coordination of action by these forces is what's making the difference. In the past, the Air Force would go away before the infantryman gets there. But you see, there's an uncoordinated effort. But where the two forces get themselves together and coordinated to fight a single battle, it's more effective. And that's what's happening now. And that's why we are seeing a lot of success in so many theaters of this insurgency war.
Where are the areas of challenge? Talking about the Northwest now. Of course, what Nigerians would like is for us to say that we're on top of the situation and that's a thing of yesterday. But, you know, we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves. I understand that. We constantly are advised by professionals like yourself that we have to be, conservative in looking at these things. But where are the areas of challenge still?
Well,
Because
sorry.
okay, no, I was going. Sorry, I was going to add that the governor of Zamfara at the time had, when the minister was there, about 4 months ago. No, actually, now it's about 6 months ago when he was there in October 2024. He had said that they were doing everything that they could to take the battle to them, even at their own level. And he had opined at the time that with the army and troops generally now, things were going to be easier. So where in the northwest, because it's not just Zamfara, it's beyond Zamfara, it's in the northwest, where are there still areas of challenge? And what is, if you like, preventing us from mopping up the whole scenario there?
Well, I cannot sit here and tell you what tactics.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's safe to say that we all have the feel of what's happening in the field. I mean, we know that the aggressors or the insurgents are up and they're always carrying out their little, or we can just assess by the reduction of the insurgents' activities that we can measure quite easily the effects of what the security agents are doing. Let me give you an example of the present situation in Kebbi, which I'm very comfortable with.
Yes.
The present governor picked up from where we stopped and improved upon the efforts. And that's why you see the insurgents in the southern part of Kebbi State is relatively silenced. What we are facing now is the Laprawas,
okay.
Those are that's the area that's really giving us some. Recently, they went in there to some villages, set the village ablaze, killed 11 people. And frankly, I am impressed with the way the governor has handled the situation. He quickly, take positive action by providing the necessary logistics to the security agents to go and quell that situation. Well, that is Kebbi State. But in other areas such as Zamfara, we all know that Bello Turji has slowed down to almost, I would say, 95% of his activities. And that is because there is the security agents are up and doing, haven't been provided, like I said earlier on, haven't been provided with necessary logistics and morale booster. And I praise them for doing that.
You've mentioned Lakarua because I was going to ask, do we know for certain the enemy that we are fighting, or is it really a matter of enemies? Lakarua that you mentioned, is that just one of the groups? Are they or are they being engaged? Because I wonder, I can't imagine that these people actually will come together in a coordinated sort of way, because everybody seems to be looking for, how he will rise above the general, kind of grouping.
Unfortunately, in the past, our borders are so porous. Anybody can come in a motorcycle and do whatever he wants to do and go back. In the past, I used to think it's easier to smuggle fuel out of Nigeria to Niger and Benin Republic. But now they use all kinds of methods to come in and then carry out. You see, this Lakra people took advantage of that porous nature of borders in the past. And those of them who are still remnant are still using that porousness, although limited as compared to the years back, to ferment trouble. But I'm happy to say that the security agents are up and doing. Like I said, few weeks back, we had a few incidents of Nakurawa's activities in our border with Niger, and quickly His Excellency, the Governor, Idris Nasser Idris, sent the necessary logistics to the security agents, and they went and dealt with the situation amicably. That's it. But also, like I said, that of Zamfara, that has been the issue. But as it affects Kebbi State, the activities have been reduced.
Okay.
Bill Turji has less strength that will extend up to Kebbi. But not to say that there's still remnants of that, but the security agency in Kebbi State are handling it.
And so, well, it's gratifying to hear that there have been improvements following Mr. President's directive in October that the troops should be up and doing, and he gave them a direct charge that they should clear the area of all the strife and difficulties that it was having. But I wanted to ask you, how about the people themselves? Because it was thought at one time that the people, the citizens, they should be part of it, because you often hear you see something, you say something, but sometimes they're so intimidated that that is not the case, and it then almost looks as if they are working for these guys by not being able to speak up out of fear. Has that changed now? Are the people also seeing that, well, the authorities have this in firm control, and people are going about, at least even in your Kebbi, your beloved Kebbi, you can tell us about that. How is the citizenry reacting?
Oh, they are reacting effectively. I tell you why. Now, the response by security agents whenever there is a threat is almost instantaneously. And they remain there until there is relative peace, so to speak. Why we had problem with the citizens in the past was that they face more problems when they are seen to cooperate with the security agents. And so the bandits, so to speak, punish them by certain sad means for being on the side of on the side of assisting the security agents. But now it's different, because now our civilian brothers and sisters now know that there will be a quick reaction whenever there is any problem. They don't even have to be scared of the bandits anymore.
Okay.
So that situation has been taken care of by reaction, the quick reaction to situations by our security agents.
Okay, that's gratifying to hear. We have a caller, Engineer Future in Warri. Good morning to you, Engineer Future. Can you hear me, Engineer Future?
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning to you, sir. Please, do you have an observation or a question for our guest, Colonel Samaila Yobe Dabai?
First of all, I want to say, with regard to the pictures I'm seeing on the screen, these are terrorists. These are areas maybe from Borno State, Yobe State, and all that. Now, with the picture we are seeing on the screen, why not declare a state of emergency in those areas? These are these are empirical evidence. These are empirical evidences we are seeing in the country. And no state of emergency had been declared in this area, in this state. And then the president is declaring state of emergency in an area where there is political issues in River State. This River State issue is a political issue that can be handled, that can be resolved, which the state governor, Siminalaye Fubara, has already submitted to.
Okay,
So,
Engineer Future, I do get your drift. I do get your drift, but our subject matter is focus on security in the Northwest. But without prejudice, we've taken that comment. I understand you indeed, and Colonel Samaila, so how would you react to that? It's not really our subject matter, but then he went there. What would you say? Hello, Colonel Samaila, you heard you heard that caller. It's not our subject matter, but he sort of tried to link it. It's
thank you. Thank you for saving with the bell. Yeah, we are saved by the bell. But that's not a question for me.
Well, it was Engineer Future's sort of shall I say, I don't even know what that was, because it doesn't seem connected at all to what we're talking about. Here we're talking about, insecurity in the Northwest, getting better, and well, Engineer Future in Warri decided to link it to a state of emergency, and why isn't there a state of emergency? So, Engineer, you'll excuse us. I don't think we can go there. I don't think we can go there. We're trying to, understand and appreciate the advances that have been made in the Northwest, and especially our guest is the former Deputy Governor of Kebbi, and so he has knowledge about that area and surroundings, and he's been speaking on that, and has been quite complimentary of the troops, Nigerian troops, and the work that they have done, that the President has commended. Things are a lot different from where we were around the time that the Minister of Defense took the message of the President to the place, to Zamfara. So sorry that we can't really deal with it the way you might like, Engineer Future, but our subject matter is different. We were talking about, I think, did we, before this call came in, the ideological, because, okay, there's a sense in which we can take a snippet of what you were said. This is not an ideological battle, is it? These are outright bandits, or are they? Are they outright bandits, or are they? Is there any ideological aspect to what they're doing?
Not at all. Turji, one of the leaders of the bandits in Zamfara, while answering questions, he specifically said, look, we are not fighting a religious issue or anything. We're out here to revenge what the Ansakai did to our people. Okay. So you see, there is no ideology in there. Not at all. No, the other character, Buhari Daji, who is late now, and he also explained that, he said, look, the issue we have is we're left alone. We are not being taken care of by government. Our farms have been taken away, and our raising areas have been taken away by farmers and so on. And the farmers were backed by various chiefs and so on. That was his claim. The other character, Dogogire was basically a bandit without any. This is always to send people out, go and steal, by force, kill people, get their properties and bring it to him. So then there is no any ideology other than that of a rogue.
Okay, all right then. Mr. Ogbanago, did I get that right, in Lagos? Good morning to you. Mr. Ogbanago in Lagos, good morning. Can you hear us?
Yes. Uncle
Okay.
Yori, good morning, sir.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, you got it right. Thank you, sir.
Please go ahead.
And good morning to our guests.
Yes.
I think leaders are not serious to curb this insecurity, in our country, and this is very glaring. You can see look at what you are seeing on the television. Are we saying the DSS, the army, the police cannot trace these people and capture them? Are you telling me that our security architecture is now totally down? That people, individuals, can come live on air this way and start showing what they have to break down the country? I think, Mr. Yori, this is where we need this state of emergency the more, where people are wielding, arms and ammunition against the citizens, and we are seeing it. The president is not saying anything and is not declaring state of emergency. Are you telling me that if our military, especially the Air Force, are deployed to these places, they can't bring these people down? I think we are not serious about this insecurity thing at all. But it's really unfortunate. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Ogbanago. The direction that this thing is going, Colonel Somaila, you see the direction it's going. Maybe following from yesterday's news.
Let me help this gentleman.
Yes.
If he had listened to our conversation earlier on, he would have not listened. If he had listened, he would have known that I explained the way these bandits attack. They are carrying out their activities in a manner that you cannot know where they are coming from until they appear, do their damage, and disappear. You'll be surprised to hear that some of them are living among us. And when it's time for them to carry out their nefarious activities, they call themselves using this simple equipment, assemble somewhere, go fight or carry out their activity, disperse. How do you fight such a person?
Yes, of course. I hear you, Colonel. Sorry, Colonel. Let me bring on yet another caller. Ibrahim is calling out of Minna. Good morning, Mr. Ibrahim.
Good morning, Uncle Yori and your guests out there.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, good morning. I think the issue of insecurity as regards Northwest has long at least is acceptance as a nation, as a sovereign nation that should be able to protect itself. Herself. And when you look at it very clearly, well, I quite appreciate the effort of the federal government in recent time, particularly our military. They have gone on the offensive rather than being on the defensive. And I still believe they can do more. But what we are seeing so far is like when you attack mosquito, and the mosquito will now rebreed and start doing the same attack again. For now, you see, when you talk about Northwest, Niger State is not part of Northwest. Kwara State is not part of Northwest. They are in the central, north central of the country. And you discover that in a way, it's like driving. That's why I was using mosquito. Those people that were pushing away from all this area, the bandits are now going these other places to hibernate for a while. So I think that if this offensive is going to be effective, it should be worse. You know, you have them in Nigeria, you have them in Kwara, you have them everywhere. One cannot understand where are these people coming from. One. The second area is that the facilities, utilities, food, drug, and supply. I mean, by now, if you cut them off, because this is where intelligence comes in, this is where technology comes in. So if you cut it off, their effectiveness will grossly reduce, which I believe there is still a problem. Recently, I think you said, when it was said that, they have, a kind of music response. I believe that our intelligence service, the NIA, the DSS, and others will have equally come out to see, because it is obvious that kinetic approach entirely will not work to solve this problem completely, because it will continue to come. Then on the final note, you will see that the farmer headman crisis is continue to linger on to an extent that even those headsmen are becoming impunitive in such a manner that they come removing cassava from your farm, removing yam, and cutting them down in a manner that they are asking, what will you do if I do this? And it's taking a too long a time to engage in this guerrilla. Even these are not guerrilla; they are like this thing. So it's taking a too long a time. I think our security architecture should equally design it to see that intelligence and technology work better in this case than where you have to bring in a contact. The community relation contact, the social relation contact, the empowerment, and all of that things will come in. The immigration are equally doing very fine to block that access of entry. I think it's equally very important.
Okay, then I want to thank you very much, Ibrahim, calling calling from Minna. Now, you heard Ibrahim calling in. Ibrahim is getting a bit impatient that, look, this is taking far too long. Non-state actors such as these people are, he even called them a ragtag kind of a setup. He felt it was a bit embarrassing, and that the authorities, the troops, the specialists involved in this particular assignment should know where to hit these people to make them hurt so much that they can't react the way they continue to react. Even without prejudice to what you explained earlier, that this is not conventional warfare. Go ahead, sir.
I don't blame Ibrahim for his
impatience
position in the security situation. If he knows what fighting a non-conventional warfare is, he will understand that it's not an easy thing to handle. I elaborated by giving an example that it's possible those bandits are living among us, and all they need to do is to signal themselves to meet, to rendezvous somewhere, and then from there they take off to go and carry out their activity. Thereafter, they disperse. Let me tell you my experience regarding this kind of situation. I was going out to visit our troops in Bena. And on my way to Bena, there is a village that you have to pass to get to Bena, and I was ambushed there. Now, luckily, I had joined the convoy of the battalion commander, who was also going to seize people at Wasagu. And so we were caught, so there was a battle. The battle was fought for almost 1 hour plus. Now, the key thing here is the casualties of those killed, those bandits killed. The bandits made sure that they collected all the dead bodies and burnt them. They set their motorcycles and they heaped them together with the casualties and set this in ablaze so that they cannot be identified. Now, you don't have to have PhD in intelligence to know that they are trying to cancel the signature of these casualties so that they will not know where they come from. Or somebody will say, ah, that's my friend there. But now he's burnt, you will not recognize them. So you are fighting someone whom you cannot identify. You don't know where he comes from. And you don't even know where he will go. If somebody said that the Air Force should go to where they hibernate, yeah, you have to be timely to get. State of readiness, as I've mentioned, has improved incredibly.
On the part of Nigerian troops.
Right. So much that they are up and doing. The result of the insurgent, the fight against insurgency is more prevalent now, as opposed to earlier on because of limited availability of fighting equipment.
Okay, let me bring on Professor Edmund, who is calling from Enugu, I believe. Good morning, Prof.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Folarin. And good morning to your guest.
Okay, thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, morning. I hope I'm true.
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, thank you. Having watched the clips of the video of the pictures you showed us, as a matter of all honesty, I feel embarrassed having watched those pictures. I feel highly embarrassed that such a thing is happening in our dear country. Let me start by saying that the pictures you showed, there's something ideological about those pictures. Those guys are just a bunch of bandits and criminals. However, the federal government, or particularly the military, is complicit in whatever is happening in Northwest. The military is complicit. They cannot. There's no way they can extricate themselves from that madness going on in that Northwest. Authority and power. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a collective shame on this country.
Yes.
So we are not serious. We are not serious in calling the bluff of those animals.
But
what about the Air Force?
Could I interject here, Prof? I mean, that's a very heavy charge when you say our military is complicit. It's a heavy charge.
Mr. Folarin, this is my opinion.
Okay.
Allow me to finish with my opinion. It's my opinion. It's a personal opinion.
Okay.
It's either you people take it or you leave it.
No. I was just saying that, we just have to sort of...
I hope I'm free to air my opinion.
Okay.
Yes,
but some of these things require proof. Prof, I beg your pardon. I don't want to argue with you. I'm sorry, sir. I don't want to argue with you, Prof. But I wonder, do you have any evidence, indicating that our troops are complicit with terrorists?
Listen, Folarin. Mr. Folarin, you have shown us the evidence. What evidence again do I want? You have shown it to us. Those right criminals.
All right, then.
You have shown the evidence to us now. What evidence again?
Okay. Well, you can see Colonel Samaila, a very angry professor there.
Honestly, the professor with respect to his contribution, must have seen a very old video clip. If he has seen a clip that was shot 2016, 2017, I might agree with him. If has he seen any clip shot from, say, 2023 till date, you would have seen the difference in results of the activities of our security people.
Okay.
As I made mention of the combat state of readiness as compared to the past, our boys are up and doing. And some years back, my people in southern part of Kebbi State could not go to farm. There was no harvest. 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, up to 2020. But now there is a celebration we always carry out at the end of the year to show, like, thanksgiving for God having given us all that big harvest. Quite recently, we have just done that to show that, yes, we're able to go to the farm, do our farming activities, and of course, we're celebrating the yield from the farm. We wouldn't have been able to do that in those years when you can't go to the farm. If you go to the farm, half of you are killed, some of you are stolen away, are kidnapped.
Okay, okay.
But I have not had, I've been around. Quite recently, I went around to Sadao. These are areas, these were no-go areas. I wouldn't dream of going near Damairai, not to talk of Sadao. But I haven't heard that. I said I want to see this by myself, and so that I get convinced that yes, it's happening. So really, our troops are given the necessary equipment and the moral, logistic support to carry out what they're doing. And from my experience, really, I am impressed. I'm sure the professor is seeing an old film clip.
Okay.
I think it's you guys' fault. You're not showing them what they should see.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, this is where dates are very, very important. In fact, I was trying to get the my producer up there to tell me the date of the videos of the pictures that he is showing, because
current security situation does not.
Sometimes, you know, people just bring out reference materials because they are similar to the subject matter. So I've asked my my producer to let me know what is the date of the videos that he is showing, because the professor said that what evidence are you asking me for? These pictures you are showing me these pictures. You don't need evidence from me again. But what you are saying is that contrary to the indication that these are probably, you know, older pictures. Somebody is working on that, because I do need to know for my own education whether those pictures, they're reference pictures.
I can assure you we should be thanking God for the things we are seeing in a security scenario today, as opposed to the past, when you go to a village, you wouldn't find a single person. I went to them, Samari one time. I said, there must be a plague here. Okay. And of course, yeah, because the bandits had raided that place severally, and of course the people said, look, we can't stay, and so did. But when I went back, the market, what was impressive was that it was a market day. Okay. You come if there's insecurity. So the prof must have been shown, or you guys must have shown, and I wouldn't blame him.
In fact, I think I need to thank the prof for, you know, calling attention to it. And you yourself, you know, Colonel Smaila Yombe Dabai, for pointing out that, you see, these are reference pictures. They're not necessarily the most recent pictures. So to that extent, those who have mentioned this, it just lets us know that you have to be very, very careful about pictures that you use to illustrate a story.
I would strongly advise that you send your field people to this area so that you are current. If you are current, the rest of the country will be aware of present situation.
Indeed.
You see, the Air Force and the Army are coordinated in the effort to fight. And that's why the bandits are finding it difficult to, almost impossible, to carry out the efforts that they've been doing. Like the Kebbi State, for example. Nearly all the markets that were shut down were now up and doing.
Okay.
Commerce, people are going in and out of their villages and so on peacefully. And it was very pleasing to see that I can drive to Mesamari, where, in the past, I have to go there with the whole army to see, the situation.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that, for pointing that out. Those pictures are indeed dated, and they were just used as reference materials because we're talking about the strife going on. But this has now made it clear that you have to be very, very careful about certain pictures, lest people take them as current pictures of what happened within a week, maybe days. But as you said, the point is taken. We need to be a bit more careful with pictures. Some pictures could be as old as, let it be said, 3-4 years, and
I want to also,
it would be a mistake to use those pictures.
Highlight on this Nakurawa issue.
Yes.
His Excellency, the Governor of Kebbi State, Comrade Nasser Idris, Orangbandu has established a method by which the armed forces will get immediate information as to the likelihood of, attack by these Nakurawa people. What he has done is to recruit the indigents of these areas and put them on guard. And so that if there is any movement, because they come, incidentally, they come about 10, 15 of them. They don't have a large number, but you see, when you have 15 of you with AK-47, you come to a village that hardly do you find anybody with maybe one or two with den guns. They cannot handle the 15 people with AK-47. Okay. So, but now, they cannot just ride motorcycles into any of the villages without getting the army to be on their neck. So I praise I'm very, very happy with the arrangement the governor has done.
All right. Okay.
Very, taking people unaware.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very much for that. And again, explaining and saying to Professor Edmund, who called in, that those regrettably are not the most recent pictures. They're just reference pictures that were used to indicate the strife there. A bit of egg on our face there. We need to be more careful. But thank God we have Colonel Sumaila Yombe Dabai, who has said that these are not the most recent pictures. So maybe we shouldn't even have used them at all. It's very, very important to say, because this is a very, very serious affair, and people who take those pictures, and because we're a news station, will think that it is news. Well, it's reference, but the point being made, sorry about that. Let us just apologize for using old pictures to indicate our current subject. Because you've just been explaining to us that these are the situation has changed since Mr. President in October had said that he wanted to see a change. The Minister of Defense had delivered that, and you are testifying that things are certainly different from the way they used to be. But, well, not but. Additionally, people have made comments this morning. For instance, the gentleman who called in to say that, I think that was Ibrahim in Mina, who had said
You
that
know.
he's getting tired of the time it is taking to do what needs to be done. And you also spoke on that. But I was going to ask you that, isn't this where intelligence, military intelligence, warfare intelligence, where it comes into its own? As you said, some of these people might even be among us, among our own people. Would intelligence not sort of indicate that, and therefore lead our people, our boys in uniform, our men and women in uniform, lead them in the right direction, if the intelligence was comprehensive?
Look, the intelligence is now, it is pleasing to say that the intelligent arm of the army are really out there in the field and getting the information and sending it timely.
Okay.
And that's why
timeliness is everything.
That's why we're seeing the successes recorded so far to be flowing in, because the intelligence, you can't fight the war without knowing what your enemy has.
Oh, it appears, the network appears to have frozen a bit where the colonel is speaking to us from, but I wonder it'll loosen up, he'll be able to continue. Colonel Samaila, okay, not yet. Okay, it's not yet back, he's not yet back, and meanwhile our time is counting down. But maybe because we're talking about this subject matter, and what is being reported is successes, and that things are indeed different. There has been a difference from the way it used to be. Never mind the reference pictures that you saw, which some people have latched onto. In fact, more than 2 people have actually latched onto those pictures and said that it's depressing what they are seeing at this stage and time. Can I just emphasize that those were reference pictures that were selected, and perhaps we shouldn't have done that. If there were going to be pictures on such an important subject as this, then the pictures need to be dated appropriately. So we do take responsibility for that, and I'm so sorry about that. But thank God we had Colonel Samaila with us, who was able to puncture the whole thing by saying that the pictures that were seen cannot be recent pictures. Certainly, this was before. These pictures would be indicating the concerns that Mr. President had before he had given the marching orders to our troops to do something about it. And we are hearing that the situation is entirely different. So, Professor Edmund in Enugu, a shout out to you on that matter. I wasn't trying to argue with you, but you know, the matter, I think, has been explained. Those pictures were indeed dated. So people using those pictures to sort of negate what is being said, actually, it's on us. So, because I had to go that way, because it's a very, very important subject. We're talking about the security of Nigeria, and in particular, the security in that part of the country, which is improving, as Mr. President had directed. Okay, is Colonel Samaila back? Okay, well, the network froze, but nevertheless, we do thank Colonel Samaila Iyombe Dabai, retired, the immediate past Deputy Governor of Kebbi State. And that's where we'll leave it today. That's our program. Do please join us on Monday for a fresh edition. I am Iyori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.